Welcome everyone to the Week 12 series of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host Sean Gannon alongside my partner Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you had not had the chance, go check out our website justsayingfootball.com and follow us on Instagram at JustSayingNoGWJS for article and video updates. Before we get into the games happening on Sunday, we do have a little bit of news notes for you guys. Head coach of the Lions, Matt Patricia, and general manager Bob Quinn were just fired today. They are no longer going to be part of the organization. It'll be interesting to see where Matt Patricia goes next. Maybe back to the Patriots. Could be an interesting offseason move. You never really know. And the Pittsburgh Ravens game was moved to Tuesday at 8 o'clock. However, we think it's a little bit up in the air right now. James Conner just got diagnosed with COVID-19. He will not be playing. They're a little bit worried about the contact tracing around the team. We're going to see what happens. We're going to keep you guys updated. We're going to find out, but could be a 50-50 game. That might happen on Tuesday. We're unsure. But let's get into the Sunday game so we know we're going to have them for sure. We're going to kick off with the Dolphins taking on the Jets in New York. Jack, what you got for us?
We got the AFC matchup here, and I think one of the only opportunities for the rest of the season for the Jets to possibly get a win, only because they're familiar with the Dolphins, but also because Tua won't be playing this game. That will make the defense step up heavily against the Jets. Sam Darnold is expected to start this week, finally coming back from his shoulder. So I'm looking for a big game out of Denzel Mims. He was going up probably against Xavier Howard this week. Good cornerback, wide receiver matchup to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta agree with you. This is one of the Jets' last remaining opportunities to really get a win this season. You want to get one on the board right there. I think a big thing for the Dolphins right now, although Tua is going down, they are getting Gaskin off IR. That's going to be a huge boost for this offense of them. Frank Gore also got his touchdown last week for the Jets. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I gotta go Dolphins with this one. I think that they have a good enough defense to slow down what Sam Darnold and the Jets offense want to do. I also just think that their run game will be efficient for the Dolphins, and the Jets won't be able to slow that down.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins as well. I mean, this, like I said, is the best opportunity for the Jets, so I expect them at home to play well. Especially if Sam Darnold starts. He's been a little banged up this season. But on Miami's side, I expect them to win. And Devontae Parker, I'm just looking at him the last three games. He's had an up game, a down game, and an up game. I'm expecting another up game from him this week. He's had 7 targets, 9 targets. This is a good matchup against a defense that ranks 30th against the pass. Next matchup we got here, we're going to Gillette Stadium, New England. The Patriots, they're 4-6, hosting the Cardinals 6-4. Sean, how you feeling about this Hopkins-Gilmore matchup?
I think it's one to watch. I think it's definitely one of the most exciting. You have the reigning defensive player of the year last year in Stephon Gilmore going against arguably the best wide receiver in the game right now in DeAndre Hopkins. I think this is definitely the matchup to watch. What I want to see is a little bit more from Kyler. We saw his AC joint get a little bit banged up when he went and played the Seahawks. Should be healthy this week, which means that offense is going to be back to its normal form of being high-powered, hard to slow down. Bill Belichick needs to dial up the right scheme. I like what they did offensively last week. Watching Cam Newton throw for over 350 yards is always exciting. One touchdown, you want to see a few more of those. But he threw a dime to Bird on the deep ball. And I'm
absolutely
excited. I think that this could be a potentially high-scoring game. We know this passing defense of the Cardinals isn't the best in the league, so it's going to be an opportunity for Bird and Myers to really go after them and for Cam Newton to throw the ball against them. I think it should be a really high-scoring matchup, believe it or not.
Yeah, 49-point over-under in that one. I expect a big game, from both offenses. We got two rushing quarterbacks. You mentioned Kyler, the sprained AC joint. I do expect him to, make some magic happen this week on the ground. Right now, him and Cam are rushing, the ball a lot for two quarterbacks. Right now, Kyler has 10 touchdowns on the ground. Cam has 9. I'm just wondering, who's going to get more rushing yards?
I think that Kyler gets more rushing yards, and the main reason why is because a lot of Cam Newton's runs are designed quarterback runs. Kyler just kind of moves around the pocket, finds a little hole, and then is able to just burn you for 20 yards out of nowhere. And that's what really makes him special. That's what's been keeping him in this MVP conversation, aside from his throwing, is his ability to evade defenders and pick up these chunk yards. So I do think that Kyler definitely has more yards. Who are you going for in this game?
I'm going to go with the Patriots at home. I just trust Belichick in this defense. I like when, I talked about it. I asked a question, Gilmore, Hopkins, this matchup. And I think that at home, they're going to have a plan for Hopkins. This is a concoction of a good team coming into New England is always a 50-50 game just because it can come down to the wire, and the scheme for the Patriots, we've seen them this season make some good comebacks. Who are you going with in this one?
I got to defer. I got to go with the Cardinals. You know, they're right now sitting at third in the division at a 6-4 record. They got to get this win right now.
Yeah.
They need it to stay alive in that really, really tough NFC West division, although they're ahead of the 49ers. We see both the Rams and the Seahawks just dominating right now. So they got to get this win. They know how important it is. They want to be a playoff team. The NFC is going to be cutthroat. They got to get a win. They're going to beat the Patriots. They know what's got to get done.
Love that. And, the next one we got your Vikings at home, 4-6. Coming off the loss last week, taking on the Panthers. What you got for us in this one?
You know, I'm a little bit worried right now. We got Adam Thielen is not going to be in. It doesn't look like he's going to be playing. Mike Zimmer was not really confirmed, no, but definitely did not confirm the yes. It's leading more towards the side of doubtful. We're also not going to see a starting right guard, Ezra Cleveland, and Irv Smith is also potentially not going to be out. We're taking hits right now. It's going to be up to Justin Jefferson, our young rookie, to really step up. It's going to be again on Dalvin Cook to continue to dominate the run whenever you can. But the main thing that I'm most excited to see is Teddy Bridgewater. The Vikings drafted him. He's finally back in Minnesota. We're going to get to see him and actually get to play him. I think it'll be a really, really fun game to see him back coming in after that brutal injury. But right now, with the way that the Vikings defense played last week, giving up a lot of chunk yards, this is a really good offense. They got a lot of playmakers: DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel. I think it's potential for them to really tear apart the Viking secondary.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great. Bridgewater, I'm looking for more touchdowns through the air from him. He was never really the guy who racked up 4 or 5 touchdowns in a game, but I would like to see him have maybe like 3 touchdowns in this. I think that it's a matchup that favors him here. Justin Jefferson, you mentioned it, DJ Moore as well. This is going to be a matchup of 2 receivers on opposing sides of the ball, and it's time for these quarterbacks to just let them air it out. But I'm looking at this defense too. Eric Kendricks, one of those guys that when you guys drafted him years ago, you were huge on him. I think that he is going to be playing big spy on, the Panthers running back Mike Davis, who goes out and he's a big receiving threat. Eric Kendricks right now is 3rd in the league in solo tackles. He plays a lot of man coverage. He covers the zone over the middle. I expect the Vikings to take this one. I think that they'll be able to contain this offense, and I think Kirk Cousins and Jefferson are going to have one of their nice connections like we saw against Atlanta.
I'd love to see that. Hopefully it breaks Randy Moss's rookie record. I'm going to go with the Panthers. I'm a little bit worried about our defense right now. A little bit worried about that secondary. I think there's a lot of playmakers, like I just mentioned, on the offensive side of the ball for Carolina. On the defensive side, Brian Burns and Shaq Thompson are great at getting after the quarterback, great at getting in the backfield. It'll be a good game for Cook. He needs to do well. He's gonna have some competition out there. I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
Yeah, okay, man, I love that. I mean, Sean's is looking for the win for his team, but he's seeing the weaknesses there. He knows that they can go down to the wire with this team. And Teddy B, a little comeback game for them. Yeah. Now we got Jacksonville 1-9. I feel like every week, that after they got that week 1 victory, we always want to give them some hope. But this week they're playing the Browns, who are 7-3. And I gotta just ask you about the fact that the Browns right now have the chance to go 8-3. And since the Browns, when they left Cleveland, they came back in 1999. They've only had 5 seasons with 7 wins. And they have a winnable matchup here. But, the last time they went 10-6 was 2007. Are you thinking that this Browns team is for real, or is this a trap game?
I don't think that the Browns are for real. This offense is really hard to trust with the exception of the running backs. Jarvis Landry has not had the season everyone expects him to continue to have with Baker Mayfield. They've been struggling to throw the ball from time to time. Again, the running attack is deadly. Do not think that there is a better running back duo. I don't think they're contenders. I think they can absolutely win this game. And it has to do with their running backs. I'm worried about this Cleveland defense, though, with no Denzel Ward, their cornerback one, and no Myles Garrett. It does kind of feel like a trap game, especially with Mike Glennon, who hasn't gotten a start since 2017, coming back in. They're going up against a veteran. He's
Oh
a
my
big
God.
guy. He has a big arm. It could be fun to see him and DJ Chark. This is it's a weird game to me. I'm curious to see the final score of this game. I feel like we're going to see a few special team touchdowns. It's going to be a weird one.
It's definitely going to be a weird one, and we were talking about this earlier. I mean, a 49.5 over under, that just has to be from some Mike Glennon, maybe a big DJ Chark touchdown. I'm looking for a big play out of DJ Chark. He's probably going to have to be Mike Glennon's priority weapon this week. Without Denzel Ward out, it's a nice matchup. And I'm not even here to defer you. I think at home 9 weeks in a row, I think these guys have had enough. I think Mike Glennon is going to step in and beat the fake Browns team this week. And Jacksonville's going to go to 2-9. Nobody will notice. Nobody will care. But I think that they actually do it on the arm of Mike Glennon, who hasn't played in 3 seasons. Crazy matchup here.
I like it. I want to defer from you. I'm just gonna trust that the Browns can beat a 1-9 team again.
Yeah.
Run, Chubb, and Hunt. I think Landry's only had one 50-yard receiving game. Let's get Landry over 50 yards this week. Come on,
Yeah.
baby. Let's get it done.
I only laugh because it's hard to put the winner as a 1-9 team, but I'm saying at home, 9 weeks of losing. I mean, you do not want to go 10 weeks. This Browns team has played sloppy in games. Go stop the run. Go stop the Browns. In our next matchup, thank God, we have an absolutely primetime game here. We have a game we saw on prime time a couple of weeks ago, and the Titans. We saw that their special teams were the biggest struggles of all. And how are you feeling about these two teams? As we say, Derrick Henry, when he faces a good defense, he's an unstoppable force for some immovable object.
The Colts defense has gotten really, really weak this week. They have a tough matchup, as always, with the Titans and Derrick Henry. No DeForest Buckner, COVID-19 list. D'Amico Autry is also out, and Bobby Oruke is out. These are huge three defenders for these guys, especially DeForest Buckner. He's been an absolute menace, just ripping apart offensive lines, getting behind in the backfield, disrupting plays, getting sacks, getting fumbles. And I'm worried. That guy's up front. And yes, they have Darius Leonard, they got Xavier Rhodes, they got these playmakers and everything, but you're losing your pillars up front right in there in the trenches to get after, especially a guy like Derrick Henry. You don't want to give him holes. You don't want to get him going. And without those three guys, especially Buckner, this is going to be a much harder challenge for them. It's next man up mentality. And then offensively, Jonathan Taylor, COVID-19 list. You're missing a potentially workhorse running back. Wilkins has been great. Hines has been great. But you're just a little bit more limited now on offense. Not what you want to see the weekend before a huge matchup that could determine the first place in the AFC South.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely not what you want to see. I mean, we have been loving Derrick Henry this year. This guy has been able to, especially the last 2 games against the Colts, he's just 100 yards in each of them. But this Colts defense, as we said, they've consistently been a top 5 rushing defense. Right now, in the last couple of weeks, a top 3 defense. It's going to be on the Titans to just pick up those sloppy mistakes that we saw last time. The Gostkowski missed field goals, the blocked punts, the shanked punts that go for 20 yards, giving the Colts, we talk about Phillip Rivers getting bad field position, how he's not successful when you push him back. And, you cannot give a veteran quarterback the ball on the 50-yard line. The Titans are going to have to run this ball. They're going to have to wear this defensive line out. As you mentioned, they don't have Autry. They don't have Buckner. These guys are their leading guys in almost everything, TFLs and sacks.
Yep.
We're looking at something where Derrick Henry has a huge matchup versus this Colts team that is banged up. I'm going to go with the Colts at home, though. I think that I like this Nyheim Hines, Jordan Wilkins thing they got going on in Indy. I like how Phillip Rivers is kind of treating it like an Austin Eckler situation with a lot of targets going to the running backs. I'm going to go with the Colts at home this week.
I gotta trust the Titans. I just think the holes on the defense is going to be a little bit too much for them to overcome. I don't necessarily think the Titans are going to just absolutely just run all over them and decimate them. I think it's still going to be a good matchup. Rivers and that offense seem to finally be clicking. I expect Pittman to be a focal point of this offense, especially in the passing attack as he has been. But I got to lean towards the Titans and just and trust what Henry can do against a defense that is now getting depleted. But moving on, we got a fun matchup because we got the New York Giants heading out to Cincinnati to face the Bengals with no Joe Burrow, wishing a speedy recovery towards ACL and MCL. But how are you feeling about the Giants after we just saw a Washington football team decimate the Cowboys and are now sitting atop the NFC East? If you guys win this, you're ahead of them. You guys swept them this year.
Sitting pretty, 4-7. Could be sitting at the top of the division in a very winnable matchup. It's going to be on the defense to attack Brandon Allen. And the Giants, the last 6 games, they're 3-3, and all those losses came in one possession. As a Giants fan, it shows me team improvement. And beating a team like the Bengals right now that have 2 wins, their backup QB, and they don't have Joe Mixon. They have 3 great receivers on this team right now. But I got to say, the Giants defense needs to be able to take advantage of this. And if they want to win in the future, they got to beat teams like this. This is a winnable game. I'm looking for Blake Martinez in this defense. I'm going to go with the Giants off the bat, but I expect a good game from T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. I think they're going to put up a fight against our secondary on defense.
It's hard. I got to go with the Giants. It's hard for me to trust this team with no Burrow right now, and they're not even starting Ryan Finley. They just picked up Brandon Allen off the waivers at the beginning of last week. It's hard for a quarterback to come in there, try to mesh with these guys, and immediately be able to play. I think that's going to be really hard. The Giants defense has been spectacular. You guys are getting Xavier McKinney back. Could be a huge boost. He was a highly touted coming out of Alabama in the draft this year. I think you guys can absolutely win this game. There's no excuse right now. You guys got to get it done. This is the game to do it. So go out there and do it. I think the Giants will execute that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, going to Cincinnati, this is going to be an interesting transition. Again, wishing Joe Burrow super well. That injury we don't want to see. He was somebody we were very, very high on this year, as everybody was. He's looking like a true offensive rookie of the year candidate. Daniel Jones, though, no turnovers last 2 weeks. Just want to point that out. And I think that he needs to win games such as this one. I like them in this one. It's just pretty simple. I wish that Joe Burrow and Daniel Jones got to have a nice little shootout. The next one, we got 2 of our teams to watch that we had here in the summer. We were writing articles about our teams to watch, and Los Angeles Chargers going to the Bills. Opposite records here: 3-7 for the Chargers, 7-3 for the Bills. I know you were huge on both these teams. How are we feeling about them now?
I mean, you got to love the offense of the Chargers.
Absolutely.
I will still stand by that when this team can be healthy. Derwin James, Melvin Ingram, Joey Bosa, Casey Hayward Jr., Chris Harris Jr., Linval Joseph. These are some studs. These are some stars. You got some playmakers. If only they were healthy, and they are not. So that's why I said 3-7. But we've definitely seen from Herbert, he is the future of that team. He looks fantastic.
Absolutely.
He's consistently throwing 2+ touchdowns a game, occasionally 3, throwing for over 300 yards. Keenan Allen is his guy. So name of the game for the Bills right now is do not let Keenan Allen get 19 targets a game. Just don't let him do that. That is the guy that he goes to. That is his first look. So stop that, and you're going to be able to win this game. And also on the flip, you guys got Josh Allen if you're the Bills. Big arm, MVP candidate right now for sure. It's really stepped up this season. Stephon Diggs looks great on that offense with that team. There's no John Brown and no Cody Ford. That's an offensive lineman and a wide receiver that you're going to be missing. So I expect a workload increase for Cole Beasley, honestly, on the offensive side for the Bills.
Yeah, we have seen Cole Beasley's numbers go up immensely when John Brown has been out this year. He's a trusted guy by Josh Allen. We've seen him be trusted in the past. And, out of the slot on the outside, he's getting it done this year. I think with Casey Hayward out in this one, especially with Owusa out and especially with Melvin Ingram out on the defense for the Chargers, it's going to help this run game. Right now they're 27th in the game right now, the Bills. They're not really getting it done. But as you mentioned, Justin Herbert and Josh Allen are really getting it done through the air. Right now, it's looking really solid for Justin Herbert, who's actually averaging 299.99 yards per game. So he's almost at 300 yards per game.
Let's give him the 300. He's at 300 per game.
It's an interesting thing, but this Chargers offense is ranking 3rd in the passing game with a rookie. You got to love that. I'm gonna go and take them this week. I like what they're doing with Kalen Ballage, believe it or not, something I would have said last year. The Bills, hey, they rank 4th in the pass game. This is going to be a shootout, but I think that this is where they get a win. I think that these are two teams that have, in close matchups, blown games, and it's time for the Chargers to be on the other side of that. I think I'm going to go with them this week. But Keenan Allen, like you mentioned, if he does get 20 targets, you betcha they can win this game.
I'm going to defer. I think that Bills got to win this game. They know it's at stake. They're only one game up above the Dolphins right now in the AFC East. The Dolphins took a surprising loss last week to the Broncos. They got to win this game to get that to stay ahead, and especially with the Dolphins' very easy matchup this week against the Jets.
Yeah,
they got to win this game. It's kind of a must-win for them. Not just to win the AFC East, but to also stay in a tough AFC playoff picture as well going forward. So they need to get this. They need to get this win. They need to get the job done. I think they're going to execute it this week. I think that Josh Allen is going to show why he's in the MVP category, and in that race, and really kind of step up in this game and throw some deep bombs to my man Stephon Diggs.
Yeah. Oh man, I meant Stephon Diggs and Keenan Allen, like we were saying right now, they're going absolutely ham this season. Being top 10 in almost every category. Catches, yards. It's looking great for both those. I'm expecting big games from both of them this week. Definitely, it's going to be a great one. Now we got our last game here of the early window. Atlanta 3-7, hosting the Raiders 6-4. And with Derek Carr right now, he has 19-3 TD interception ratio. Matt Ryan 15-7. They're both one's looking clean, one's not. But Matt Ryan has 500 more yards than Derek Carr. Is there any way that these two guys don't have an absolute shootout right now?
I mean, I'm so sorry for the Raiders. They were so close last week, and then just no one decided to cover Kelsey.
Yeah.
And I feel
like
wanted
them.
I was ready for them to win. That would have been so much fun. I mean, I went with the Chiefs, and I'm happy my call was right. But like everyone, deep down in my heart, I promise, I wanted the Raiders to win that one. And that was just upsetting. And everyone saw the memes. Derek Carr just sitting there angry. I think he's ready for this game. I think he's zoned in for this game. He got a really easy matchup against the Falcons. If the Falcons don't have Julio Jones, I think Calvin Ridley will have a 100-yard game easily. But I don't think that necessarily means that they win the game. They're going to also have no Todd Gurley. It's a favorable matchup for the Raiders. Go out there and win this game. Let's get some revenge. Darren Waller, have a huge day. You're a great tight end. Continue to do that. Let's see a Nelson Aguilar bomb. But I just think that the Raiders right now at this point are out for a revenge game and looking to just kind of squash someone. And I think that the Falcons are a very squashable team.
Oh, yeah, squashable indeed. They are second to last right now in allowing, yards per game in the passing game. They are allowing 300 passing yards on the dot on the year, which is a lot to average per game. This defense needs to get it together. This Raiders offense scoring 8th highest. Derek Carr, I expect a big game out of him. Like you said, Darren Waller, the tight end. On the other side for the Falcons, Julio Jones looking like a game-time decision. It's going to be interesting. You got to watch out for that in the lineups. And what I'm looking for, though, is a lot of targets for Ridley and Hayden Hurst. I could see a big game from him, too, if Julio is out. If Julio's not out, I don't see too much production from Hayden Hurst. The Raiders do have pretty solid linebackers, and I think that they – even though the Falcons are 3-5, after starting 0-5, I think that this is the part of their schedule where it gets really tough, and I don't know if that they can win this game at home. But I wouldn't doubt Matt Ryan. If Julio doesn't play, I don't think that they win this game. But if Julio plays, I think I would take them at home.
I'm going with the Raiders. They're sitting 7th right now in the playoff seeding. They want to be a playoff team. I think that they're absolutely capable of being a playoff team. Again, tough loss last week. I think that between Josh Jacobs, Nelson Aguilar, Darren Waller, even Jason Witten, who showed up for the big touchdown right before, sadly, Mahomes ran it back.
Yeah.
I think that they know what's at stake. They got to win this game. It's a must-win game. And John Gruden's been here before. He's a longtime coach. They're going to get the job done. They're looking for this revenge game. And even with Julio in, I still think that they can absolutely beat them. So I got to go Raiders here.
There we go. Dang.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is all the time that we have. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We hope that you enjoy the Sunday games. We've got a handful of great matchups, and especially that Titans-Colts game. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. So enjoy all those full stomachs you got on Thursday, all that football. Enjoy them here on the Sunday afternoon games. Check it out, justsayingfootball.com. Check us out, Just Saying YouTube, Just Saying Football on YouTube, and Just Saying No G on Instagram with WJS on Instagram for all your article updates and video updates. Appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Always appreciate it. Have a great time watching the games.
Enjoy the games.